Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. The draft starts tomorrow, but yesterday, some massive news happened. Rob Gronkowski is back in the NFL, being traded away for a bag of balls to the Buccaneers. We were in the studio when the trade happened, and this was the reaction. Massive news. Rob Gronkowski, host of WrestleMania, the White Tiger on Masked Singer, a man who has taken over everything, including Bravo Television, is back in the NFL, being traded from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be reunited with Tom Brady, who he has said this entire time is his quarterback. Just a few years ago, the New England Patriots were thinking about trading Rob Gronkowski to the Detroit Lions. Then rumors came out that Rob Gronkowski was going to retire stat. He said, Tom Brady's my quarterback. Tom Brady would continue with the New England Patriots while Rob Gronkowski retired. He stepped away from the game. He got his back hurt on numerous occasions. He was beat up, but everybody understood that he was one of the best tight ends, best football players to ever play the game. Made the NFL All 100 team. Was all over the place. Then he sees his friend, old Tom Brady, go down to Tampa Bay, take meetings with Bill Gates, Derek Jeter, and the owner of the Lightning. And he says, hey, Tom, you think Bruce Arians would want my big, handsome television ass back on a football field and kind of finish what we started? And Tom Brady said, 10-4, good buddy. Get your fucking ass down here. And Bruce Arians called the New England Patriots, and Bill Belichick said, sure, you can take Gronk. Take Gronk all you want. Well, what do you want back, Bruce Arians says? A fourth rounder. That's it? Yeah. And also here, take a seventh rounder too. So the Buccaneers are getting a seventh rounder and Rob Gronkowski, allegedly, for a fourth rounder in return to the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick doesn't give a single damn about anybody. He does not care about Gronkowski. He does not care about Tom Brady. He has a system. That fourth rounder he thinks is going to turn into a great role player. And if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, knowing that you got a guy who made the NFL's All 100 team, in the 100 years of the NFL, this guy made the team as one of the greatest tight ends in history. You know how many tight ends have played in the NFL? All of them.
Checks out.
Anyways, he's healthy, he's rested, and somehow Bruce Arians picked up a $10 million contract for a tight end named Rob Gronkowski. And although Tom Brady probably said to Bruce, I want Antonio Brown down here, and I would like to get Rob Gronkowski. I think we can get him. And Bruce said, no to Antonio. Nope, no questions. But Gronkowski, let's do it. $10 million in a seventh-round pick, send back a fourth-rounder. Who's going to stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Other than the city park officials that won't let Tom work out in the park, who is going to stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' offense? I'm not 100% sure. Todd Bowles' defense, ready to go. This team, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, a good draft pick, a defense that was young and went from 32 to 5. Hello, Tampa Bay. Good for you. And on the other side of this, obviously, there's a team that realized that their dynasty quarterback would now be playing football somewhere else. He didn't retire. He still has some tread on the tires. He's going to go play for Tampa Bay. Then, one of the greatest tight ends of all time retires. He's going to go play for Tampa Bay. If you're a New England Patriot, this just has to be another tough blow after experiencing the greatest run in the history of professional sports.
Hey, I'm glad I lived it. Look, if there's
if
there's no football this year, what are you going to do? It's not that big of a deal. We don't have to play. I think we should consider the health of these players going forward.
Oh, wow.
And if it's not safe, then maybe we push the NFL season off for 3 years. I don't know.
And now the Bucs can still trade
O.J.
Howard right now and get more draft capital or something else that they want.
Good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good for Rob Gronkowski. Good for NFL fans, by the way. Welcome back, Rob Gronkowski. Hey. Incredible tight end. Very good football player. The crowd goes wild. Tampa Bay is going to be must-see television yet again. And the question of who's going to win in this split, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? It feels like Rob Gronkowski's like, hey, I heard there's a little bit of a competition going on. Let me come down here and help your ass out down in Tampa Bay. Let's remember that we can win without Bill Belichick. That has to be the mindset. Gronkowski could have came back and played for New England last year. Chose not to. Could have came back and played for New England this year. Chose not to. So I'm going to Tampa Bay. This is heating up, and this is beautiful. And by the way, the draft's just a couple days out. Thank you, NFL. Thank you, Gronkowski. And shout out to Bill Belichick not giving a damn about anything and saying, listen, we're going to win regardless. If you want to be here, be here. If you want to be down in Tampa on vacation, get the hell out of here. What a day. That is the same exact feeling I had this morning when I woke up as well. They get Rob Gronkowski, and Bruce Arians said, I don't just want Rob Gronkowski, a man that made the All-100 team. I also want another pick. I'd like the 7th round pick as well for this 4th rounder that you're looking for, and Bill goes, to hell with it. I don't care. Take it. He gets a 7th rounder and Rob Gronkowski for a 4th rounder in return. Now, everybody understands that Rob Gronkowski's been retired, okay? A lot of the New England Patriots fans are spinning a yarn saying that he's a shell of himself. He is a washed-up version of Gronkowski. How do we know that? The last time he played football, he won a Super Bowl. Did not? He made like the catch in the Super Bowl. So he retires. He disappears right from the football world. Goes on to Fox. Goes on to Bravo. Goes into the WWE. Still the 24/7 champion, where he took a leap off of a platform about 10 to 15 feet into a sea of about 50 people. He's done all that. And for some reason now, the narrative about Rob Gronkowski is he's washed up. Dude played 8 years. If anything, I think he's rested. If anything, I think he got a chance to heal up his back. He got a chance to heal up whatever ailments he had, and I think he's only going to want to play even better. Now, granted, is it going to take some time to get back into football shape? I would assume so. Boston Connor, myself, anybody that watched that Andy Cohen interview, he did start to look a little bit bigger than he had looked, because Rob Gronkowski got very thin. He got very, very, very thin. He didn't look anything like the Rob Gronkowski that we had seen at tight end for the New England Patriots whenever he went into his Hollywood tour. Then he started beefing up a little bit. He said it needs 2 months to get back into football shape. He put that timeline out there for a lot of people to hear. He's starting to beef back up. It feels like he's going to love football again. Bruce Arians is a very welcoming coach. It's like, hey, we want you to be yourself. We just want to play football well. We want to win. We want to work hard. That seems like that's all Gronkowski has ever wanted. That feels like that's all Tom Brady has ever wanted. It feels as if to all the people that are saying Tom Brady's washed up and the people that are saying Gronk is washed up are people that have no idea what they're talking about and are looking at the mirror at people that are in denial in the understanding that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are about to be a buzzsaw. And not only a buzzsaw on the field, I'm talking about mentally as well. Rob Gronkowski has a lot of people to prove wrong. He wants to rewrite the end of his football story, as does Tom Brady. And it's very obvious that Rob Gronkowski, he needed his mental health to get back. He wanted to fall back in love with football. And sometimes if you love something, you got to let it go. You know?
Yep.
And if it comes back, it was meant to be. Rob Gronkowski has come back to football in a fashion that I think is going to be electric. And just 1 week ago, the big news in the NFL was that a guy that we never heard of, Brian Allen, had coronavirus. Now here we are, less than a week later, 1 day before the draft, and Rob Gronkowski, the greatest tight end in the history of the NFL when he was playing, is back in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the old, washed-up age of 30, I think. He's just so washed up. Him and Tom Brady got no shot. So now they got Mike Evans, Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, a defense that went from 32 to 5. I started punting balls yesterday. Yeah. I started punting balls. I know that a lot of that coaching staff, I know that their punter last year wasn't fantastic. I know they had a young kicker as well. I just so happen to be good at pretty both of those things. I'm not 100% sure I'm into kickoff, but that is a team that you hear Gronk is trying to get there. And I said on Get Up whenever the first day after Tom Brady signed with Tampa, I said this is a team that a lot of people who are ring chasing are going to be flocking to Tampa Bay. Rob Gronkowski already has a Super Bowl. He's like, I'll do a couple more with you, cuz. You got Clay Matthews, who, whenever he was on McAfee and Hawk, said, have you thought about going to maybe Tampa Bay? He said, it has crossed my mind to go down there with the GOAT. This is a complete, they go from 17 to 1 odds to 14 to 1 odds overnight whenever Gronkowski signs there. They went from like 50 to 1 to 14 to 1 or something whenever Tom Brady signed. Now the Buccaneers are just in it to win it, and it's at all costs. And if they're building a dream team down there, I love it. If they're building a super team, I love it. Now, granted, the NFC South is no cakewalk. The New Orleans Saints are still an absolute weapon. Drew Brees is back. Taysom Hill is back. Michael Thomas is back. Kamara's back. Murray's back. That defense is back. The Saints are always going to be dominant and always going to be good. But in that NFC South now, with the mean machine Atlanta Falcons new uniforms and Matt Ryan and stuff like that, they can be good. The Carolina Panthers paid Teddy Bridgewater. They can be good, obviously, with Christian McCaffrey. But it really feels as if that NFC South, whoever comes out of there, is going to feel real good in that NFC playoff run. And the Niners are looking at it. The Packers are looking at this. Everything has changed now. And Gronkowski, for the people that don't know football or are fans of football or maybe turned off by Gronk and the Gronk and everything like that, just know that every human I've ever met that knows football says Rob Gronkowski is a game changer. And that's what happened whenever he got to New England. And it all revolved around Peyton Manning giving Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady a play to expose basically defenses for a tight end. Dallas Clark made a living off of this pull where a guard would pull. Everybody would think it was a run. And then all of a sudden the tight end would leak down the seam and bang, hit Dallas Clark. Rob Gronkowski scored, I think, 100 touchdowns with that play from Peyton Manning. And I would assume Clyde Christensen, who was the offensive coordinator for Peyton Manning at the time, now that Bruce Arians is getting a weapon like Gronk in the middle, got Evans on the outside, Godwin there too. And if they bring in a running back that is currently on the market, or Percy Harvin's running sprints in parking garages, I mean, it feels like this team could be a real problem for a lot of people. And I'm all the way here for it. I'm all the way here for it. Joining me today, at Nick Moraldo's on the ones and twos. Tone Diggs is here. Ty Schmidt is here. Jason McAfee's here. Viva Lazito is here wearing a jacket. He lost all his Hawaiian clothes because he packed them in a garbage bag in the move. He doesn't know where they're at. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
All right, at Evan Foxy's here. And back in the back on the phones, 1-833-622-3331 is a man that has watched his team completely implode. His two favorite players are now in Tampa Bay at Boston Connor. What are you crying into your World Series banner? See, you know what? That's the difference between you and all the other New England fans, Connor. You are willing to admit that this is not good for Boston. Is that not accurate?
Look, if you have any brains, you take that $1,200 that the government gave you and you put it on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl, all right?
Little stimulus bet, little house money bet. How does it feel, though, to know that a Gronk and a seventh rounder was only worth a fourth rounder to Bill Belichick? That has to feel good that Bill Belichick thinks that Gronkowski's good days are way behind him if that's the deal that he's willing to make.
The greatest tight end of all time coming off a year of rest. There's no way he's going to be good. I mean, of course we only traded a fourth-round pick. What a joke! I mean, at least a second? What are we talking about here?
Who'd you steal that hat from?
Again, I can't hear anything for the second day in a row.
Who'd you steal that hat from?
Oh, no, this is just another thing to remind everybody, there's plenty of good stuff in Boston. We got MIT, we got Harvard, there's colleges and stuff. Look at the Celtics used to be good. Check it out. There's Larry Bird. I mean, I think I got a Bledsoe thing around here somewhere.
Yeah, you better hope he comes back. I have no idea what's going to happen. Patriots, it's a dawning of a new era. If they were to keep Gronk and hold him hostage, obviously Gronk didn't want to play for them. They would still have to pay him, right?
I think so.
Unless he just held out and didn't go to practice, then they could fine him like that. I don't know how that would have worked. Instead of it getting messy, Bill Belichick just said, sure, give me a fourth rounder. I'll find another special teams awesome guy for this, and we'll make the most of it.
There were a lot of incentives in that Rob Gronkowski contract, so I wonder if they kind of changed that up a little bit.
Yeah, the new language. Who knows if they're going to sign a new deal down there. Yeah. I'm pumped up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have a lot of friends on that coaching staff. I'm very happy for them in that swan song. And I guess one guy tweeted that is a locker room divided. They're not happy that Gronkowski's coming down there. Well, those people need to know that if you're not happy about it, there's a good chance you can just get the hell out of there. Whenever you get a chance to get the best tight end of all time, a man who's been voted by his peers on the NFL All-100 team, only playing 8 years, there's a reason why that happens. I think they're going to be unstoppable. We have to get to a break. We have Johnny Hekker, the NFL's punter of the decade, joining us at 10:40. That's the NFL's. Now, granted, they didn't watch every single rep like PFF, but a friend of mine, Johnny Hekker, is joining us in later in the hour. And then Justin Herbert joining us in the second hour. That's right. Wow. Justin Herbert will be here for Head and Shoulders. Just like Carson Palmer was here yesterday, which we did not say. Carson Palmer made an incredible appearance yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Joe Burrow, talking about what he said. And what we failed to talk about was his incredible involvement with Cadenwood and its new performance-based CBD sports cream, Level Select, that you can only find at levelselectcbd.com. You saw Carson Palmer's hair. You saw how fresh he was, how rejuvenated he was, how his body looked, how his knees felt. That's all because of levelselectcbd.com.
Well said.
Was I forced to say what I just said?
No.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. Not by Carson, by the way. Not by Carson. By the reps who booked the reps. Anyways, Herbert's here for Head and Shoulders in the second hour. 1-833-622-3331. We'll get some phone calls on the other side. This Gronkowski news is massive. I want to hear your opinions. Sound off in the YouTube comment section. We'll talk to those during the break and also on the phones. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, April 22nd. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Johnny Hekker joining us in 20 minutes. Justin Herbert, the expected number 2 or number 3 overall quarterback selected tomorrow night in the first round of the NFL draft. Breaking news, Joe Burrow has been informed by the Cincinnati Bengals that he will be their selection at number 1. So all the chitter chatter about a potential trade by the Miami Dolphins, who own 3 number 1 picks, 2 number 2 picks. They have a lot of draft capital. They could potentially move. They will not be doing that. Mr. Brown says we don't trade ever, and we're not trading now. We earned this number 1 pick, and we're going to take the face of our franchise, Joe Burrow, at number 1.
Smart, you know?
Very smart.
Just smart.
There's still
Good
time.
to see the Bengals do the right thing.
This is, isn't it? Now, there's a lot of conversation on if you could take 3 number 1s, would you trade out of there? And there's this thing called a trade draft, what's it called? Card.
The draft chart.
The draft card chart, whatever the hell it is. And it is something that Jimmy Johnson created. And it's this point system for how much each pick is worth. Now, I don't know if that changes with who the players are in the draft or if it's just standard. Basically, the number 1 pick is worth 3,000 points, and then it goes down from there. And that's how teams can equate and add up the picks and how many points they're total. To be honest, the Miami Dolphins, if you go by that draft trade card, could have traded their bottom 2 number 1 picks and then their second number 2 pick and would have been able to have enough points to get to the number 1 pick and still had the 5 pick, the number 1 pick, and then the first pick of their second draft. Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins down there have set themselves up to be in a very prime position. Will they use any of that tomorrow? It's being said that the Lions, Redskins, Giants, Cardinals, and Niners are all looking to move down from their current positions. It's been said that the Packers are looking to move up. The Miami Dolphins are allegedly looking to move. The Patriots are allegedly looking to move. It seems like there's going to be a lot. Broncos are potentially looking to move. Falcons are looking to move. I guess there's a lot of teams that are looking to move up, and in return, there's a lot of teams that are looking to move down. I think tomorrow night is going to be electric, and we will be covering it right here, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. McAfee and Hawk, Sports Talk, Primetime Draft Super Special. Guests include Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Palmer, and anybody else we can figure out and find that can join us. We will be wearing suits because the occasion calls for it. I do believe Mel Kiper and Lou Holtz will be stopping by as well.
While you were talking about all that, I got goosebumps again for the first time since football season has happened. Like that's
For the draft?
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot that's going to go on tomorrow. Joe Burrow's going number 1. The Washington Redskins are allegedly listening to offers for that number 2 pick. So if somebody wants to move up there and potentially get a once-in-a-generation type talent, which is what a lot of people are saying about Chase Young at defensive end, go and get him. Then the Lions are saying, we want our deal done by 3 p.m. on Thursday. If you want to come to number 3, come and get it. Giants are like, yeah, we could definitely take Isaiah Simmons or Okudah, but if you want this number 4 pick, come and get it. And the Dolphins are sitting there at 5, 16, 28, 36, something else, and they're just like, we can do whatever the hell we want and we know it. And the only thing they can't do, now that we found out, is go up and get Joe Burrow because the Cincinnati Bengals have made it official by texting him and telling him that is the case.
But does that mean that they definitively are taking? Like, could they
No.
still?
The Cowboys told me the day before the draft that I was going to be their kicker.
Right.
Then 2 days later, they drafted a guy named David Bueller that I'd never heard of. The only thing I knew that he could do is run good and bench good at the combine. Turns out he played 36 games. I played for 8 years. I won that whole thing. But there's a lot of lies that happened. There are a lot of lies that happened before the draft. But I'm not 100% certain you do that with the number 1 overall pick, the kid that you're hoping will lead your franchise.
So there's a smokescreen.
No, this one feels like it's right.
I see right through it.
I don't think Paul Brown or Mike Brown or whichever Brown is in charge over there does any smoke screens.
No.
I think he is very standard. This is what we do. We play old school football with old school techniques, with old school food, no indoor facility, and we are not trading with anybody for anything. And we're drafting Joe Burrow, the kid from Athens, to be our Cincinnati quarterback, which is what Carson Palmer, by the way, told us yesterday, that Joe Burrow grew up being a Bengals fan. So getting a chance to play for them is going to make him happy. Carson Palmer said he would never in a million years tell somebody not to go where they are drafted.
Good guy.
The narrative was getting spun, though. Let's get to the phones here. Let's go to Alden in Los Angeles. Alden, what's going on, bub?
Yo, what's going on, Pat?
Just hanging out. What's going on with you, man?
It's actually my birthday, so I woke up.
Hey! Happy birthday, Alden, the big 16.
Thank you,
Attaboy.
boy. Yes, sir. So first thing I had to do was, of course, call in, talk about my Chargers. So we got our fresh uniforms yesterday. We got our new stadium. Hopefully it'll be done by the time of the season, whatever that is. But I don't understand why we're not going to get someone like Cam Newton and see if Isaiah Simmons falls to number 6. So now you have one of the best Ds in the league, and you have Cam Newton chucking it to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen with Eckler in the backfield.
Great question, Alden. I always assumed that Cam Newton was going to end up with the Chargers. Loved the Chargers' debut of their jerseys yesterday. The first time I think a jersey debut has won this offseason. Everybody seemed to love them. The Chargers, I didn't know they had fans. So the fact that the guy called in, pretty
Startling.
mind-blowing there.
Good for the Chargers.
I had no idea. I thought he was a Rams fan that wanted to talk about the Chargers. Alden, happy birthday, Rams fan. We thought Cam Newton was going to go there. I thought Cam Newton was going to go there immediately upon release whenever Tampa Bay grabbed Tommy. Then you hear Dan Orlovsky get a text from somebody in the know, he says, that says the Chargers are not taking Cam Newton. That is not what they're thinking. Everybody who we've talked to, including Jordan Palmer, who was training Jordan Love, amongst other quarterbacks, he makes it sound like they are happy with Tyrod Taylor. Moving forward, look for them to potentially get an offensive lineman to help protect Tyrod Taylor and move forward. I don't know what they're going to do at 6, but I assume that's a pick that a lot of people might want to go get as well, especially if Herbert, who will be joining us in about 49 minutes. Jeez, that's tough stuff by me. 40. Wait. 8 minutes from now, Justin Herbert will be joining us. Jordan Palmer told us in his training, he said teams had called him to ask him about quarterbacks. Jordan Love was a name that got very hot while Jordan Palmer was training him. And he said the Chargers never called. He thinks the Chargers are moving forward with Tyrod Taylor, which is what they've been very open about. Tom Telesco has come out and said, we are very thankful and happy that we have Tyrod Taylor here. Anthony Lynn likes him and things like that. Could that all be a lie? Maybe. It feels like the Chargers went all in for Tom Brady. Then when they didn't get him, they're like, all right, let's go. We'll roll with Tyrod Taylor. And also Easton Stick is out there. People forget. And so maybe look for them at 6 and pick somebody other than a quarterback. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm rolling with.
I just got a notification on my phone from ESPN that according to ESPN NFL draft expert Mel Kiper, the tide has turned with regard to how the Dolphins view the quarterbacks in the draft, and there's a lot of buzz about Miami preferring Herbert to Tua.
So that tide has not turned, Mel Kiper. Welcome to the conversation of the last 6 days. Everybody, since Mike Tannenbaum went on Get Up, Mike Tannenbaum, former GM of the Dolphins, friend of Ross, the owner still, said it would be irresponsible to draft Tua in the top 10. Everybody kind of perked their ears up, including Peter King, who told us that, and other people. They said if Tannenbaum's saying it, that means he's probably heard that somewhere. And if he's heard that somewhere, who has he heard it from? He's friends with the owner of the Dolphins. He thought that Herbert was going to be the guy for them. Herbert's been healthy, but I don't think he's been anywhere near the passer that Tua has been. But with Herbert, with his big body, his calm demeanor, and everything of that, and he's a nerd. The guy's he's a super nerd. Yep. Is he the guy that you think could potentially, behind Ryan Fitzpatrick for a few games, maybe 8 games, maybe even an entire season, become the quarterback of the future for you? He's athletic. He is tall. He's smart. Seems like he gets along with everybody. And he's already got a head and shoulders contract. That's got to mean something in Miami. Is he the guy that you want going forward? And if it's not Miami picking Tua, who do you see taking Tua? That is the real question. Could we have another Aaron Rodgers, Brady Quinn-like situation, Johnny Manziel type situation with Tua, strictly because COVID-19 came in and teams can't get their hands on that hip to see if Tua is going to be healthy with their own doctors? I think that is potentially going to be a case. It's going to be interesting for old Tua if he falls.
So if he doesn't go 6 to the Chargers, do you think teams will be more likely to move up into like the top 10 to try to get him? Because it seems like if he doesn't go there, there is a chance that he will fall into like the late teens or 20s.
Yeah, we have no idea. Right? I don't think anybody has any idea who wants what. Think about Patriots, right? Think about the Patriots. He and Belichick and Saban, what? Tight.
Very tight.
Tight. They do shows.
Yep.
They do shows together. You don't really see them they do shows together. He knows Tua rather well. Saban knows Tua rather well. What if Bill Belichick's like, yeah, we like Stidham, but there's this quarterback that everybody had projected maybe even the number 1 pick just a year ago. Now he got hurt, got a surgery, another surgery. drop into the teens? What if the Patriots make a move to go get him? What if another team that needs a quarterback goes and get him? What if the Jacksonville Jaguars want to go get him?
Packers.
I mean, there's a lot of people that could potentially go and get. I don't know if the Packers are going to.
Hey, you never know. They push Favre out. I mean, it's not that
They
absurd.
didn't push Favre out.
Yeah, they did.
that-
pushed him out, Ty.
No.
You pushed him
You're an
out.
owner of the Packers. You guys pushed his ass out of
No,
there.
they drafted Rodgers because Favre was
then
getting older.
pushed him out.
No, and then Favre retired and came back like 2 months later. He's like, I was just kidding. I still want to sling it.
Yeah, but they forced him to retire, didn't they?
No.
Yeah,
No.
they did a Belichick forced retire.
No, when he retired, they said, all right, sounds good, Brett. We love you. We love everything you've done.
Oh, is that what
But
you
we're going to go with
forced him.
Aaron. We got to get ready for the future. And he said, yeah, well, you know what? I think I still want to play.
Ty, I understand you're wearing the sweatshirt today. You got to pump the logo. You got to rep them, but you forced them out.
We
You
did
forced him
not.
out.
We did not force him out.
Just like the Patriots forced out Tom Brady.
No.
Whoa,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
He chose to
By the way,
leave.
the Patriots got what? A fourth rounder for Gronkowski? They got nothing for Tom.
Goose egg.
True.
Nothing.
I don't think we got much for Favre in return either.
With the Chargers,
You got beat by the Vikings, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he beat him when he was on the Jets as well.
That Vikings team with Favre was very good until there was a bounty on Favre's head, which
What?
changed it all.
Yeah, and then he was rolling right and also throwing cross his body.
Yep, classic Favre move.
60 yards cross his
Old
body.
gunslinger.
It's the NFL is absolutely awesome right now. I mean, it is beautiful. Let's go to Keith over there in Pennsylvania. Keith, what's going on, pal?
Morning. Just wanted to wish you and the boys first. The first one to wish you a happy Earth Day down there in Indianapolis.
Hey, happy Earth Day. Hey, good for the Earth. Hey, look at Earth making another trip around the sun.
Earth's feeling pretty good
I
this
have
year. here.
I have a pretty simple question.
Earthquake
Just
this morning,
assuming
rather
both of them
large.
kind of
Yes.
finished their
Los Angeles, yeah.
their season
That's for the
with no
birthday.
injuries, no massive success either. Would you guys put Cam Newton and or Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame with their current successes?
I think he said
Cam Newton, Derrick Rose, Hall of Fame.
Yes, throw there.
no.
throw
Derrick
Rose in
Rose
there.
is not in the
Put
Hall of
Yes,
Fame.
he
Either of them in there?
does.
Neither
Who
is-
cares? What is this guy talking about? Happy Earth Day. I appreciate that. I mean, that means a lot. Who cares if Derrick Rose is going to the Hall of Fame? I mean, I like Derrick Rose. I'm a big Derrick Rose guy. I think his story is a great comeback one. But what Hall of Fame is he up for? He's still playing, isn't he?
Yeah. NBA, you say.
Why is Keith calling in with that stupid call right there? Keith, happy Earth Day to you, too. Paul should have ended it right there.
That earthquake rattled his brain around a little bit.
Big old earthquake in LA. I like Keith calling in. I mean, that was good. He thought about us. He was considerate. He reminded us that it's Earth Day and we should pay tribute, obviously, to the Earth. Massive earthquake in LA this morning, I guess.
just-
But go ahead.
That's just a reminder from Earth. Hey, it's my day. Little shaky
Oh,
shaky.
you think it's like popping the bottles?
Yeah,
Earth came out this morning in LA. Just
in case you guys forgot.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it is. Good call there. I didn't even think about that. Good for the Earth, by the way, popping bottles this day. All right. We got to get to another
it's
radio
50.
break. We'll do YouTube questions during the break. And then we got Johnny Hekker on the other side. You want to sell it now or on the way back?
Whatever you want.
What is it for?
It's LinkedIn.
I think you should sell them now.
Okay. Now more than ever, actually, because we know that businesses are grappling with incredibly challenging times. A lot of things in life and business are changing right now, and we're all adapting to our new priorities. While it takes time to adjust, LinkedIn believes that we can create opportunity when our community comes together. Whether you're looking to hire now for a critical role or thinking about needs that you may have in the future, LinkedIn Jobs is here to help. LinkedIn is an active community with over 675 million members
Why
worldwide.
did that call happen? The more and more I'm thinking about it, why did that even? Connor,
belongs.
how do you let that guy in what? What does Derrick Rose belong? He's probably playing again this year. Did he?
He had some good points. We didn't hear him, and plus, it's Earth Day. Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
He compared him to Cam Newton. So we were talking about Cam.
No,
I
he
guess.
also asked if Cam Newton would be in the Hall of Fame. So he said
No.
the
No,
debate would be Cam Newton and
Cam
Derrick
Newton's
Rose.
nowhere near done. As is Derrick Rose isn't done.
31.
What are we even talking about, Keith?
He's from Pennsylvania.
How do you let him in?
He's from PA. I had to give him the PA respect.
Probably Eastern, I assume.
If I'm Keith's boss, by the way, and I've only dealt with him for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If I had to deal with that guy every single day, fire him right to LinkedIn.
LinkedIn screens candidates for the hard and soft skills, which
Fire 'em!
Keith doesn't have any soft skills.
Nah, what are those?
That you are looking for, they don't say anymore, that you're looking for and puts your job in front of candidates looking for job opportunities like yours. With LinkedIn, you can hire the right person quickly when you need to. When it's time to hire and find that right person, LinkedIn is here to help. Plus, if you need to hire for healthcare or essential services, you can post your jobs for free. Just visit linkedin.com/Pat. Again, that's linkedin.com/Pat to post a job now. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. Thanks, LinkedIn. Thank you, Diggs. No thank you to Keith. We got to get to a break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Every once in a while, we like to dive deep into the annals of the most beautiful place on the internet, the YouTube comment section, for some YouTube questions.
YouTube question.
Go ahead, Zito. Get in there and ask the good stuff, pal.
All right, coming down from Corey 10. Are off-field issues really that bad for draft prospects? And if they are,
Depends.
which are the worst issues? Please answer.
Well, obviously, any violent offenses is bad.
Murder.
I would assume any domestic issues is bad. I would assume that if the coach is you're a guy that doesn't attend meetings or you're late to things, that is also bad. Off the field issues is really the biggest part of the NFL draft. That's why a lot of these GMs were so bummed out that their scouts couldn't get a hold of these players in face-to-face meetings for the last month and a half or whatever because COVID-19 came in and said, stay in your house. There's some towns, I guess, that have drones patrolling whether or not people are leaving their houses.
That's next level.
Luckily, we
Flatten
don't
the
have
curve.
them.
I feel like we have flattened the curve, though. I mean, you don't really hear much about the.
Because of the
Who's
drones.
telling you that?
It's another spike is coming soon. They're predicting.
Says who, though? Says who?
People on the beach in Florida.
I am not going to be fake. I am not going to be fake news here. I am not going to be fake news.
No, that's
here.
not fake news.
I am not going to be fake news.
Right. Okay.
But you think drones should be hovering over houses telling people to get back in their houses?
I think we should do what the Philippines is doing.
What are the Philippines doing?
You go out of your house, potentially firing squad.
Okay, so that's Diggs. Diggs' opinions do
ready
not.
to hand his life over to
Tony.
the government.
Diggs is on
We
the
need
record.
football season.
Diggs is on record as stating that, what are they going to hack into my phone for? I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to lose. Get my bank account. What are they going to pay my debt? I mean, that is Diggs' thoughts on the entire thing. But with the COVID-19 and the firing squad and the drones and the potential spike again, these draft prospects haven't been able to meet with GMs and scouts and things like that. And that's why the scouts and GMs wanted to get a push on the draft, because you don't know who you're bringing in, because you don't need to bring a cancer in your locker room, especially if it's a rookie. Like if it's you can be who you can afford to be, right? So there's a lot of players that are older that have made a lot of mistakes off the field, me being one of them, by the way. And I was not good enough whenever I got my public intoxication to do what I did. I thought I was getting cut. I thought I was going to get kicked out of there. I have no idea why they kept me around. I'm thankful they did, because I became punter of the decade after that. Pro Football Focus will be joined by the NFL's fake ass punter of the decade, Johnny Hekker here. But a friend of mine, love the guy. Actually got him a Wall Street Journal article. You're welcome. But that's neither here nor there. I think the off-the-field stuff is much more important than on-the-field stuff. Now, granted, on-the-field stuff matters. If you're going to suck, they don't want to draft you. But at the NFL level, there is always athletes. There's always people that understand football. There are always people that can run fast and things like that. In between the ears and what you bring to the team is what's most important, and that's what the off-the-field stuff is. That's why that's why teams are bringing in ex-Navy SEALs to do psychology exams. That's why you got like psychologists working on staff to kind of break people down, because you don't want to bring in a bum that would be bad for your culture into your locker room. And that was another great edition of YouTube Firing Squad. Question.
YouTube question.
Attaboy, Z.
I'm just a messenger.
No, you're not.
Tony, firing squad?
Hacker, what's good, dog?
It wasn't my idea.
I'm good. We're currently in the middle of a radio break, but we're live on YouTube. We'll be back in like a minute, I think.
Dude, this is a sweet setup.
Well, it's not too shabby. I can't see your setup, but I'm sure yours is very nice as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Typical. I need to put some shit on my back wall. There's nothing back here. Just,
Oh, it's a guitar back there.
yeah, guitar, yeah.
Oh, break it out.
Can you play the guitar?
I can, yeah, a little bit.
Oh my God, we need that to happen. Oh, we're coming back in like 10 seconds, but we need something. That's why I got punter of the decade. I can't do anything on that.
I don't know if it's in tune.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'll figure it out.
All right, we got like 10 seconds. We got 30 seconds. Awesome. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Joining us now is the NFL's choice for punter of the decade, friend of mine, absolute stud from the Los Angeles Rams, Johnny Hekker.
Hey!
Attaboy, Johnny!
Hekker, yeah!
Johnny!
What's up, guys? How we doing? Pat, it's an honor to be on the show. I don't know if I was deserving of that honor. I know.
Oh, stop.
You've gotten your share of all-decade awards, man, but I appreciate you letting me have that one.
No, I didn't, but I'm very happy that you got it. You've been an absolute animal for the Rams. One of the most consistent players in the NFL, to be honest with you. You're an absolute stud, a legend. I'm very thankful that you joined us. Did you get drafted to the Rams? I don't recall.
I did not. No, undrafted free agent, which I think is a pretty advantageous situation for most specialists.
Yeah, because you get a chance to pick and choose where you want to go. Whenever I was going into the 7th round when I was about to get drafted, I had to figure out what plan B was aside from a pill. If I wasn't going to get drafted, I wasn't going to get kicked. And then I thought, okay, if I'm going to do anything, I hope I'm an undrafted free agent so I can at least pick the guy that I would like to compete against. You got a chance to come into the Rams, completely flip the game over there in St. Louis. Jeff Fisher let you use your arm. McVay does the same thing. You've been a lot of fun to watch, brother. A lot of fun.
Thanks a ton, man. I had a lot of great punters before me, guys that were entertaining as hell to watch. You were one of those guys, the guys that just kick the crap out of the football. So it's a ton of fun to kind of pick stuff from other people's games and implement it into my own. That's helped me a ton. I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't watch guys like you sending bombs on Sundays.
Hey, I watched Shane Leckler's film my first 3 years whenever I was in the NFL, and then when you got in there, I tried watching yours, but you're 6'5". I am a spud compared to you, so I couldn't really watch your stuff. But there's a team in the NFC, by the way, that could potentially be looking for a punter, and I was in my backyard last night. Any tips for an older guy that might be getting back into the game for punting?
You need those stem cell injections. Every show you can get them. Just get them. I've heard they're great. I don't know. I think you got a chance, man.
I hope so.
You don't need to hit good balls all day. Just hit a couple. Let them know you still got it, and their offense isn't going to need you that much, so, hey, come on, man.
I absolutely love that. How have you been spending your offseason, by the way? What have you been up to? Are you in Los Angeles? Are you at home? Where's home for you?
Yep, I'm home, just north of Seattle. I grew up here, and so my wife and I and our 2-year-old son have just been hanging out, staying home, staying safe, and, just kicking this quarantine's ass, having fun every day. We got our son a trampoline in the backyard, dog chasing the Frisbee, and just every day is something new with a 2-year-old. So that's been a great deal. And just trying to not get fat, as you know, most off seasons go.
I'm on my way up right now. I'm trying to go down. Washington State was a state that was hit very, very hard, especially early with the COVID-19. I believe that Senior Citizen Center had like a couple hundred people get it. What have you guys been hearing up there about the state of the affairs and state of everything in lockdown? And is there any optimism in the news in Washington?
I'm not a big news guy.
Smart.
I don't really. I try and stay away from it to, I don't know, stay mentally sane. Just because there's so much craziness going on. But I do know that we've been kind of ahead of it, being one of the first states that got kind of hit by it. Our like emergency facilities, most of them have been shut down. We don't need that capacity anymore, which is good. So we've been sending those items to other states that need them. Immediately, so that's encouraging. Our quarantine is, I think, being extended until the 18th. I believe it's not official yet, but our governor's been pretty kind of aggressive in keeping people home and trying to shut things down. I wish he'd let us go golf, but that's okay.
Hey, let's pivot. Let's pivot back towards football. Have you been hitting balls? Do you normally hit during the off season? Do you wait until a little bit later? How have you been handling with that whole thing?
Yeah. I try and get out at least once a week. If I can, get out twice. It's really just kind of dependent on the weather up here, and then I'm also trying to find a place where I can jump a fence and not get yelled at right now. So
hey, they took Tom Brady. They kicked Tom Brady out of a park.
Yeah, it's a legit issue. I mean, I see all these guys posting workout videos of them at some field, but I don't know. I went and kicked at a little like city park the other day and almost rolled my ankle in a couple of little potholes. I was like, all right, I need to find a turf field.
Johnny, a lot of people don't recognize the balls that you hit, right? And I'm a little bit of inside baseball. Actually, the first ever For the Brand video that I did was you hitting that banana ball that you hit. And that led to a Wall Street Journal article. And then watching you punt, though, you have like 6 different balls. My favorite one that you hit is you're walking right and you hit this low liner back left. That is the one that people see on Monday Night Football where you hit a 70, 80-yard ball. That's the one in the Super Bowl that you hit 65, 70 yards. How did you get that into your repertoire, and when do you choose to use that?
That actually was another NFL punter. When we were in college, we walked on together, Oregon State. Ryan Allen used to hit that ball just messing around every now and then. And so I kind of like remembered it. And then I've seen a lot of players hitting the show right, end over end left. And that helps with kind of increasing that pooch ball distance when you're kind of at the 50 to minus 45 or plus 45. And just kind of started messing around with it one off season, just trying to hit spirals, and realized if you drop that sucker inside and just turn on it, you can send it. So
you were hitting balls like 80 yards in the air. I was at home watching it. The first time you did it, I was at home watching it, and I was like, did he miss that ball? And then I rewound it, and I was like, that thing just went 65 in the air, and the returner had no idea. He was sprinting to it. That's a weapon. You have all those, and you have a cannon for an arm. That's why you're an absolute stud out there, Johnny.
Thanks, man. It's fun. It's being a punter is probably the best job in the world. I mean, I understand that what you're doing is super fun, and you make it all look very interesting, and you have the time of your life doing whatever you're doing. But being a punter, there's no job like it. The workload is great. There's gray area. For a field goal kicker, you're either making it or missing it. Like you talked about the Super Bowl punt. That Super Bowl punt was a very crappy punt.
I agree, but I wasn't going to say it. It's a record, so who cares? It doesn't. Every yard counts.
I hate when people pull up that clip or talk about it, because it's like, God, if they only understood. I'm sure you understand it, but there's a clip of the ball rolling down the Patriots sideline, and it rolls past Ryan Allen, who's one of my really good friends.
He is not.
And you just see him like this.
This son of a bitch is what he said.
It was so funny. Yeah. It's so Ryan, and I've talked to him about that clip a few times. It's just like, God, I wish people would just shut up about that stupid punt. I don't care. We lost the game anyways.
It's a record in the Super Bowl, though. I'll talk about it till the
That's
day.
True.
When you retire, you'll talk about it too. I also have a Super Bowl record. That's not crazy. What year is this for you now?
Going into year 9.
You feel old? Body feel old?
Sometimes, but I gotta just tell myself it doesn't feel old. I'm just hitting my stride, man. I'm gonna turn this thing out into another 9 years, 10 years, hopefully. If God's got that in my joints and in my back and everything, we'll be all right. But
is that what it is? Your back?
There are mornings when I feel all right.
Is it your back? Vinatieri, right? So Vinatieri, his back something would happen. I never had back issues, so I was always very thankful. Mine were knee. Mine was strictly knee. Hips never had an issue. My back was always good, but Vinatieri had back. He had a little bit of a knee and a little bit of a groin every once in a while. The back is a real punisher because it comes out of nowhere on you. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Every now and then I'll like pick my son up or do something crazy, or I don't know. It can, a little spasm can just jump on you out of nowhere. But I mean, for the most part, it's just getting my core stronger and trying to limit that stuff. But you get older and you got to just start training smarter for sure.
Do you do any weird stuff? Do you do the yoga, the Pilates? You do the acupuncture? Anything weird?
Not really too weird. Thomas Morstead got me doing Pilates.
He loves that. He is a Pilates like commercial at all times.
Yeah,
it works.
He has his own equipment at home. I think he could probably run his own Pilates studio by now. But and the amount of converts he's got, he'd probably have a good client base just of NFL guys. But if Thomas Morstead's doing anything fitness wise, I'm going to give it a go.
Bingo, guy's a stud.
Yeah.
The Rams are going to look very new next year. No Todd Gurley, no Brandon Cooks. It feels like you're I don't want to say a rebuild because you still got your quarterback and stuff like that. But what have you been hearing from these virtual meetings and stuff like that? What the Rams messaging is going forward?
Yeah, we haven't started our virtual offseason yet. We start this coming Monday. So I haven't heard a ton. I mean, we have a new special teams coordinator as well. We'll have a new kicker. We picked up a guy from the CFL and then a guy that did the AAF XFL combo and did really well in both. So yeah, we'll see. It's going to be kind of a whole new scenario for me. I haven't had a different special teams coordinator my whole career, so it'll be.
No bones.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, Bones got picked up by the Cowboys. Yeah. So that's going to be it's an opportunity for growth. I mean, it sucks, but I can't say it's going to be worse or the same. I can hope that maybe things will be better.
What times are hard out on radio?
54:05.
Okay, good. They're changing the times on when I have to get out on radio, but we stay on YouTube, so it's a juggling act in here. Go ahead.
Are you worried there might be less fakes now that Bones is gone?
That's what I'm wondering too.
No, we still got McVay and Sean. Sean was always coming into coach's office like during the week between his meetings, and they would draw up fakes together. So I think he was as much a proponent of me throwing those balls as Bones was.
Well, for good reason. I mean, you're a highly efficient quarterback. You were a quarterback in high school. Is that accurate? And college, or just high school?
Just high school, yeah. I wanted to be in college and walked on with the thought that, maybe I can crack. They'll see me throw a ball at practice and they'll let me get in quarterback meetings. And I realized what the quarterback meetings were, and I was like, maybe I'll just stick to being a punter.
Jeff Fisher and Deshaun McVay. I mean, those are two coaches that love fakes and love getting after it. That has to be a dream come true for you.
Yeah. I was curious as to how it would be with the change of guard with Sean coming on, but he's aggressive as heck, and we have a fun time, in practice drawing up stuff, and he really lets us use our imagination.
His beard is always like this. It looks like it's painted on like Hollywood Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Yeah, it's sharp. I don't know how he keeps it. I don't know. I wonder how it's looking during this quarantine, because it can't be as good as it used to. Yeah.
He was on with Jay Glazer or whatever, who broke the news that your one of your centers has the COVID-19 down there. He was on there. It looked as crispy as it's ever looked. I did not expect it.
He must have like a little stencil at home. He just throws it on and goes.
We heard before you got on here that there's a guitar right behind you. You're the NFL's all-decade punter. I think the least you could do for the people as being a punter of the decade by the NFL is give a little bit of maybe a tune or two from Johnny Hekker in Washington.
Let me turn on this amp.
Man. Hey, are you going to slide that? You got a whammy bar on that thing?
I have I do.
How long have you been playing the guitar?
Sheesh. Reckon a few years.
Oh, so you're like good. This is going to be
awesome. I am not good. Oh, jeez.
Come on, take it easy on our show, Johnny. We are live right now. I mean,
sorry, everyone. Your ears, cover them. This is not good.
7:52 in Oregon. You're gonna wake up everyone.
Everybody,
my son is definitely not sleeping through this.
2-year-old, wake him up. Oh my God. I always, I have like 6 guitars at my house. Each one I buy, I think, what, this is going to be the one that gets me into guitaring. And I just suck. I just absolutely suck. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. My dad's good. My brother's good. I just absolutely stink. Ladies and gentlemen, punter for the Los Angeles Rams, punter of the decade in the NFL, Johnny Hekker.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Johnny!
John Lennon.
Are you going to sing too or no? Johnny Hekker! Hey, thanks for joining us, man. You're the absolute best. We got 10 seconds till a hard out. You're the greatest.
Appreciate you guys. Everyone have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Hekker. Okay, we are live on YouTube still. We are off on radio. He hits that ball that he hits back to his left. And that Super Bowl punt was, he said it. It was very lucky. But by the way, you don't get upset whenever that ball starts rolling in the right direction instead of the bad direction, because he's probably had punts that have bounced backwards, by the way, that people have said, oh, that's a terrible ball. So whenever you get the ones that bounce forward, you're like, yeah, fucking right, good ball, isn't it? But he hits that ball back to the left. I don't understand. That's probably why his back hurts, by the way. I was going to tell him.
Little
that could be why, because you're doing the entire thing. Who knows?
Gets it from Ryan Allen, too, he said, and then he uses it against him in the Super Bowl.
And then gets the longest one, and that's why Ryan Allen is probably this
son of a
fucking
bitch.
guy. I need to get to work in the backyard on that one, by the way.
Roll right, punt left?
No, it's a look right, missile back left. I don't know how he does it. I don't think I'm flexible enough. What I learned yesterday while I was punting too is I got to lose this gut. My thigh was hitting my stomach, and I was like, all right, all right.
Time to run.
Starting keto, stat. Let's go to Jake over there in Texas. Jake, what's going on, bub?
Hey, boys. How are we doing this morning?
Not too shabby. How are you, Dyer?
I'm doing good. I was just going to ask y'all, what do you guys think about Percy Harvin wanting to come back to the NFL? He hasn't played in like 4 years, but he's supposedly been training with an Olympian, and he's in pretty good shape. I think you guys saw the training video in the parking garage. Do you think he could stay in Buffalo, where he played last, and get a wide receiver dual threat going on with Diggs, or could he go somewhere else?
I would assume, thanks for the question, Jake. I did see him running. He's got some hang time, by the way. He's got dreads hanging. Percy Harvin, one of the most electrifying football players when he was on the field. He had bad migraines that kind of were debilitating for a little bit. I think he was a guy that maybe fell out of love with football potentially. Anytime you have somebody that's a freak athlete like that who finds a love for football again, I think that is good news for anybody. Now, granted, is that me being somebody who is older and has seen me do things with a ball still, even though I've been retired for a few years, and just automatically assuming that other people who are incredibly athletic can figure out what they were able to do back in the day, maybe feel rested and rejuvenated? I think so. I think Percy Harvin's a guy that people will look at just strictly because if you look at his highlight reel, you're like, damn, this guy's a punt returner, a next-level kickoff returner, a incredible wide receiver. You can put him at slot, probably put him in a backfield if you want, but everybody is going to want to get their hands on him. And with COVID-19, nobody can do it. So now you got Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, Percy Harvin,
Marquise Lee.
And
Did you say Josh Gordon?
Yeah, there's one more. Just big time wide receiver names. Dez Bryant. Also, Ted Ginn's still out there. I mean, you got a lot of big name wide receivers that are still out there floating around. And if Percy Harvin gets back in, I would assume it wouldn't be to go back to the Buffalo Bills, by the way. No offense to the Buffalo Bill and the Bills Mafia. I think now is the time for the Bills Mafia to potentially make a run in the AFC East if the Miami Dolphins somehow they got 3 in the first and then 2 in the second. They got a high. I mean, the Dolphins can really make some leaps here with some superstar caliber players after winning games last year whenever everybody thought they were trying to lose. But I think the Buffalo Bills have a chance to really make a run. I would assume Percy Harvin's not coming back to play for the Buffalo Bills, though. I'm ready to return to the NFL. I thought I was done, but that itch came back. I've been training with a former Olympian. Me too, by the way. I've been training with a former Olympian. My body's feeling good. Mentally, I'm better. My family is good. The timing is right. He's 185 pounds, and he's sprinting up a parking garage as if that thing was flat. I could not do what he's doing right there. But Percy Harvin, if he is anywhere near healthy, via Josina Anderson, if he's anywhere near healthy, he's going to be a guy that people are going to want to look at. And I would assume he'd get not paid a lot of money. I would assume it would be a vet min type thing where he'd have to prove it with a lot of incentives. But if he can find a little bit of the magic he used to have, I mean, I think there's a guy you'd take a flyer on for sure.
Back to Seattle, maybe.
What? Does Seattle need a weapon? Seattle allegedly.
They lost Josh Gordon, right?
Seattle talked about, Seattle GM took down walls in his house to boost the internet, by the way, which I love. The guy took down walls in his house to boost the internet. Then he said that he was sick of waiting on Jadeveon Clowney, so they signed Bruce Irvin back. They signed some other people back, and they said it's not completely over with Jadeveon Clowney, but they're moving on as if it is. A lot of people are saying the Titans are interested in Jadeveon Clowney. The Titans have a team that is back with Derrick Henry. They're back with Tannehill. They got an offensive line, even though they lost Conklin. You get Jadeveon Clowney in there. Do you get better in the AFC? I'm not 100% sure because you still got to beat Patrick Mahomes. Yep. You still got to beat Lamar Jackson, which they did last year. I very much understand that. But it's a lot of moving parts. In Seattle, I think that would be a good place for Percy Harvin to potentially get his feet back under him, but I'm not 100% sure that's where he's looking to go either. I think a lot of these people that you're seeing work out again, they're all looking to land in one place. Yeah. And that place rhymes with Rampa Bay. That place rhymes with that. That's going to be a place where everybody's going to head to. Zito, you got any more questions in the YouTube comment section?
Yeah, I can pull one up real quick.
None of the suitors for Williams' services are named in the report, but Jenna Lane of ESPN.com reported that the Buccaneers discussed a deal with Washington that would involve tight end O.J. Howard and them potentially getting Trent Williams.
Oh.
So if you get Trent Williams too?
It's over. It's over. It is over.
That's awesome.
You want a quick hypothetical?
Sure.
Pat, who would you rather bump in the car, Rick Ross or Jeezy, if you wanted to go?
Okay, so those are basically those two rappers are on the same Pandora station. So anybody that asks that question is a fucking stooge. But I am at this point in my life more into Jeezy as opposed to Rick Ross. Rick Ross hasn't put out a banger in a while. Jeezy even gets verses and appearances on songs, and they just go absolutely ham. And I met Snowman, as did Cuban Zeke down at the Super Bowl. He was a nice guy. I think he's a friend of the show.
Thanks, Stooge. Save a lot, Steve W.
He just doesn't know a lot about rap. That's all that. Would you rather listen to MGK, Eminem, or NF? It's like, God, same three fucking people you just said. Eminem, by the way, is who I would.
I've been in NF recently.
I like NF a lot. All right, we're back.
It's the perfect occasion for a little vacation from the heart of the nation. Not your medication, 2 hours of magic. Let's give it a go. Ladies and gents, it's the Pat McAfee Show. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
You're damn right it is. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here in this beautiful second hour on this Wednesday, April 22nd. One day after Rob Gronkowski has officially announced that he's back in the NFL, and he was traded from the New England Patriots for a 4th-round draft pick alongside a 7th-round draft pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Bruce Arians, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and every other free agent and retired player is looking to get down there. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go from outhouse to penthouse in one swift Tom Brady signing. And all of a sudden, everything's electrifying down in Tampa Bay. Joining me, all the boys, at Nick Moraldo, at Tone Diggs, at Ty Schmidt, Jason McAfee, Viva Lazito, Evan Foxy, and Boston sports fan Boston Connor.
Yeah. Patriots are still going to win 10 games, boys. They're still going to win 10.
Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares.
But.
Nobody cares.
But.
Nobody cares. The only thing that is being said about the Patriots right now is that Bill Belichick gives this many fornicates about anything. If you do not want to be a New England Patriot, we do not want you here. If you want to retire and go and play Hollywood and be the White Tiger on The Masked Singer, and you want to be in WrestleMania and you want to do interviews on Bravo Television, you can get the hell out of here. Just like he was trying to trade Rob Gronkowski years ago to the Detroit Lions, I think Bill Belichick couldn't wait to get rid of Rob, couldn't wait to get rid of Tom, and can't wait to move forward and build this new Patriot team that he can eventually hand off like a baton to his kid, who will eventually run this team probably 10 years from now. Bill Belichick understands that it's time to rebuild from the ground up. There was no way that if Gronk wanted to come back, he wasn't going to get rid of him. The fact that he gave Gronk and a 7th rounder, he said, I don't know who we're going to draft in the 7th round, but you can take his ass too, is what Bill Belichick do. We don't even want him. Give us a 4th rounder back. We'll find a special teamer probably. We'll make this whole thing happen. I think the Patriots fans should be very comfortable knowing that Bill Belichick is very confident in everything that he does. Bill Belichick has built a team that has been very successful, the most successful team in the history of professional sports. But in this particular moment where your staple names are doing everything they can to get out of there, that has to be a little bit of a humble pie. And now everybody's wondering, what's Julian Edelman doing? Just hanging out there all by himself.
Crying.
His best friend Amendola's at the Lions, Gronkowski's at the Bucks, Tom's at the Bucks, and Edelman's still in the middle of the Patriot way up there just hating his life.
FOMO at an all-time high for Julian Edelman.
I would assume he's staying off of social media. He got a good little gouge there for the Tom 2020 Stay Here Tom merch sale, those tickets or those T-shirts. I'll be excited to see the next shirt that he puts out probably today or tomorrow. We should probably buy it to help the guy out because it feels like he's probably a bit miserable at this point. What's that?
Are you even more upset now knowing that the Colts passed on Tom Brady with the Gronk news?
Oh, yeah, because Rob Gronkowski would have came to the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, my God.
Speaking of, he's not only coming back for a year. He's probably riding Brady out till he's done, right?
Yeah, this is probably a 2-year, 3-year thing, if I had to guess. Yeah. I mean, Gronkowski had a lot of success off the field. His agent said whenever he was retiring, he's thinking about pursuing a successful Hollywood career.
Very lucrative.
Very lucrative Hollywood career if he retires from football after 8 years of dominance. He gets voted on the NFL All 100 team. He's the host of WrestleMania. He's the White Tiger on The Masked Singer. He's on Bravo. He's on Fox. He was doing a lot of things television-wise, by the way. I'm not 100% sure if he loved any of them or had massive success at any of them, but I think Gronk was dipping his feet into a lot of different places, genres, to see what he liked, what he didn't like. And then whenever he heard, like, okay, we can go back to Tampa and run this thing back, I think he was excited for that opportunity.
Do you think he made his decision the day Brady signed with the Bucs?
It is alleged now, I read it or heard it, I forget if it was on Get Up or if I read it on the internet, as soon as Tom Brady signed with Tampa Bay, he called Rosenhaus and said, that is a desirable location for me. So whenever he was down there in Orlando for WrestleMania, just like Leroy, PFT's dog, had reported when he was down in Florida, I think there were some conversations that potentially happened, maybe some workouts that started. And I would assume Tom and Gronk have been on the same group text thread with a couple other people for a long time, maybe a private text said, hey, wherever I go, you coming with me? Let's go. And I would assume that group text maybe had Antonio Brown in it too. It's like, hey, boys, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. And then when he got to Tampa Bay, he told Bruce, hey, I got AB and Gronk in a group text thread. Both of them are ready to go. And Bruce goes, well, you can get the hell out with Antonio Brown. But that Gronkowski guy, we will get Rob Gronkowski. And here we are. Whole new world for that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Think about what this is going to do for Mike Evans, by the way. Mike Evans is an absolute animal. He had like 2,000 yards or something like that last year. He didn't have a tight end that is going to force the safety to have to stay in. Mike Evans is going to get single coverage now with no safety over the top. Who knows what the hell he's going to be able to do? Gronkowski is going to open it, and if they cover Gronk and Evans, you still got Godwin on the other side. I mean, this is an offense that's like the Chiefs offense. This is an offense that has a lot of weapons, but now Patrick Mahomes said on that barbershop show that LeBron James has, that it wasn't until the second half of the season that he started truly comprehending what the defense was trying to do to him. So then he knew where the ball was supposed to go. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes still makes a lot of plays, delaying the play, moving out of the pocket, making ridiculous throws. Tom Brady knows exactly what the defense is doing, knows everything that you could possibly know in 20 years of being the greatest quarterback of all time, setting them up to be in the position to be the most successful. And it feels like that is just going to be a recipe for success. I understand that the Saints are dominant and that's their division, but damn, you got to really worry if you're a Saints fan, a Panther fan, or a Falcons fan. Like, hey, this Buccaneers team that was once just known for strip clubs and other stuff in Tampa Bay, now they got an absolute stud missile as an offense, and that defense is only getting better, and they're young.
Is this going to change the way some teams draft? Like, if for the Chiefs, for instance, are they going to go after maybe someone in the secondary or a linebacker who could possibly cover Gronk?
For instance, back in the day, the Houston Texans took Mario Williams over Reggie Bush, and it was a big deal. Charlie Casserly made that pick, right? And he got fired basically because of it and ridiculed because of it. But he said, Reggie Bush doesn't help me stop Peyton Manning. Okay. Yeah. The fastest way into the dance, the easiest way into the playoffs is you have to win your division. So whenever I was a part of that Colts team that had Peyton, Dwight, Rob, Reggie, the whole thing there, right? That team, other teams in our division were trying to prep to beat that team, right? Now, granted, there's a larger scale where some teams are trying to load up to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, or some people are trying to load up to beat the Patriots and things like that. But everybody knows the easiest way to get into the playoffs is to win your division. So I would assume that the Panthers are going to try to load up in the back end. The Falcons are going to try to load up in the back end. I would assume the Saints they feel probably pretty good about their defense, but you got to get maybe a bigger safety that can cover Gronk. Because you got to remember, when Gronk splits out, whoever you put on him, it's a mismatch. And you just got to know that as soon as Tom sees you put a one person on Gronk, it's over. And then what happens if you shift over your corner or a tall corner on that? Then you got Evans on the other side. I mean, in the red zone, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seem on paper, in theory, to be unstoppable. But it's all about, that's why you play the games. That's why you play the games. Because you can't just say on paper they're the champions. And I would say they are the champions on paper right now. It's can you beat them when it comes to real life.
Do you think, or how do you think the Patriots fans feel, seemingly that Tom left because of Bill and Gronk retired because of Bill? Do you think they're
No, they know.
upset?
They know it's the Patriot way. They know that the same reason, hey, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yep.
The same reason they were great for 20 years, right? Which is underpaying players, making it not a lot of fun. It's hard. This is not a place where we come and have a good time. This isn't like a celebration of football. This is a business. This is a job. Treat it as such. The same reason why they won for 20 years is the same reason why you could see some people getting turned off after they've been in that thing for 8 years, 20 years, and had a lot of success. You probably want a little bit more respect, a little bit more leeway, and I think Gronk wanted that. I think he probably expected that. I think Tom might have wanted that, probably expected that, and Bill Belichick's like, hey, this same old thing, man. This is what we're doing. Get the hell out of here. Go down Tampa Bay. Heard they got good houses down Tampa Bay. They're just gonna be there.
Do you think that facade is officially dead then? Because were a lot of those guys that wouldn't it stand to reason that they also went there because of Brady?
Yeah. And that, by the way, you don't see a lot of people ring chasing to New England anymore.
Right.
You see it all following Tom Brady, not Bill Belichick. Just like Rob Gronkowski. He never said Bill Belichick was his coach. He said Tom Brady's my quarterback. It's an interesting time. Speaking of quarterback, we got to get to a break because we got Justin Herbert on the other side. Quarterback from Oregon. People are saying he's either going to be the number 2 quarterback selected tomorrow night or the number 3 quarterback selected tomorrow night. Could be a Dolphin. Could be a Charger. He is definitely a Head and Shoulders rep. That's who's have him joining us after the break. Can't wait to chat with him. Guy's a super nerd, super smart, super laid back, about to be super rich. Justin Herbert joins us on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. This offseason, everybody was talking about where Tom Brady was potentially going to end up at. It was the Raiders. It was the Chargers. It was the Niners. It was all these teams. It was come out now that the Colts were a place that Tom Brady's camp wanted to go. The Colts chose Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady. I mean, if you really look at it, that is kind of what Peter King laid out in his blog, is the Colts chose Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady. Why do you think they did that, especially being somebody who's so close to Phillip Rivers? And do you think that is ultimately going to be the right move in the end with Phil Rivers and the Colts?
Yes, because they're seeing this. The Colts are seeing the same thing that I've been saying the past few months, but everybody kind of pinned me as this Patriots hater, which I am, and I'm glad and proud of it. But at the same time, I'm just saying the truth. Right now, their stage of their careers, Phillip Rivers is a much better quarterback than Tom Brady physically. And I believe that he can go out now and outperform Tom Brady right now in this stage of career. A lot of people you stick Tom Brady's name up there and you talk about just all these Super Bowls. I get it and I understand, but right now in their stage of career, somebody asked me, and I'm not saying this because I played with Phillip and I have a relationship with him. I'm saying it because if I'm looking at 2 quarterbacks that I want the team to bring in, I'm saying, oh my God, I want Phil because I know that Phil can play physically better at a high level for the next couple of years. Tom Brady might be, make smarter decisions. Tom Brady might do a couple other things better, but as far as physically to go out and compete as a quarterback, Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady, and that's why the Colts were higher on Phillip than they were on Tom.
Hey, what's up, man? Can you take your portrait mode off your phone? It's in the settings here. I'll show on the screen.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, April 22nd. Joining us now is a man who's about to hear his name called virtually tomorrow night. Nobody has a clue where he's going to end up, but I know he's going to be a wealthy man. Coming here because of Head and Shoulders. Wait till you see his incredible flow. Quarterback from Oregon, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Herbert. Attaboy! Look at that hair. Look at.
Here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Justin, that hair looks beautiful.
Thank you. It does take some work. It's kind of the past 2 years I've realized how much work it is, and fortunately Head and Shoulders is sending me enough products that I've been able to take care of it. So it's been good.
Hey, that's a veteran sell right there. I just want to let you know. You might be about to be a rookie. That's a veteran sell right there, Justin. All right, let's dive into it. How are you feeling? Nervous, anxious, excited to get this whole thing over with? What is it?
I'm fired up. I'm so excited for this whole thing. This is something I've been waiting for so long, and such a great opportunity, and I don't have a whole lot of control over what's going to happen, but I'm going to make the most of wherever I go.
Okay, so everybody said that if you were to come out last year, you would have been top 5 pick. You come back to Oregon, you win games, obviously. Now you come into it this year. COVID-19 has come out of nowhere. What has been the experience been like versus what you might have thought that it would have been like if you were to leave a year ago?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a weird situation, and we've done our best to stay safe, stay inside as much as we can. But fortunately, I've been living with my 2 brothers and my family. So my 2 brothers have caught passed for me, and we've been lifting, running, doing everything we need to. So we've gotten all our work. It's just not at the normal facilities.
How have the meetings been going? Because Jerry Jones in the Cowboys released, he was sitting on his couch. Okay, he had a clipboard. I think he was taking notes. And on his television was Jalen Hurts, right? And he had a FaceTime or a Zoom conversation with that. Has it been virtual meetings for you daily? Have those slowed down? How is that whole process of getting to know people, trying to get to know you throughout this entire quarantine?
Yeah, they've definitely slowed down. I would say the first couple of weeks, early April, late March, were definitely a lot of Zoom, FaceTime calls and things like that. But the past couple of days, they've been pretty quiet, and I didn't have them up on my TV like Mr. Jones did, but I had them just on my laptop.
How many times has Miami called you?
Only a couple times.
How have those conversations gone? Not just with Miami, but with every team in general. What do they want to know about you? I saw you, I think, Combine, you were on with Florio. And I think one of his questions, or Sim's question, was the thought that you're from Oregon and you've never lived outside of Oregon is a question for people. Is that something people... Oh, great hair flip there. Great hair flip right there. I want to let you know. Head and Shoulders, that thing looked delicious. But what have the questions been for you? Have they just been trying to get to know you as a person, trying to figure out? Have you talked to anybody other than coaches and GMs? Have they brought any psychologists or anything? What have the conversations been like?
Yeah, shoot, that's a really packed question, so I'll do my best to unravel that.
Nailed it. Quarterback.
There's a lot of psychologists that you talk to. I think 3 or 4 teams that I've talked to, and a lot of them it's about people think I'm pretty introverted, pretty quiet, things like that, and I've kind of had to answer that, and I don't think I'm very quiet at all. And if you ask a lot of the guys in the locker room, they'd tell you differently, and I talk too much sometimes. But it's a lot of just that, and GMs, coaches, and things like that. So. It really hasn't been too bad. It's been a fun experience and something I've really enjoyed. This
was a 2-headed race for the quarterbacks. Everybody's talking about Joe Burrow, Tua, Joe Burrow, Tua, Joe Burrow, Tua. And I would assume that you were sitting back listening like, hey, I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of teams. I've done great in my workouts. Everybody knows that I'm athletic. Everybody knows that I'm an academic All-American. Was there any thought in your team or your camp like, hey, we should be getting a little bit more of this conversation? Because here, as of late, the Herbert conversation has come on very strong towards draft time. Or were you guys just kind of like, it doesn't matter who they're talking about right now. Let's wait till the draft.
Yeah, I think it's kind of been one of those things you have to filter out information, and everything's going to be said. Everyone's got an opinion on what's going on, and I think those two are really talented, really special quarterbacks, and it's been a lot of fun. And I wish I had more time to watch them during the year just to see how special they truly are. And I know how athletically gifted they are, so it's been really fun to be able to work out with them, go to the combine with them, and things like that. But it's been such a fun draft process. I've really enjoyed these past couple of weeks, and just to be in the conversations, it's really cool.
When I was watching you, I forget, maybe you're playing Utah. That was a primetime game, right?
Yeah, Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, you're playing Utah, I think. Every time they zoomed in on your face, you just had the same face. It was like the same demeanor. It was like, I think you're being perceived as this cool customer. Is that kind of how you are at all times? You got the great hair, the head and shoulders flow. You seem to be like this like very cool, calming presence. Is that an accurate description of the Air Bear?
I'd like to think that. I would say that being a quarterback position, like you have to handle yourself that way, and the highs are never too high and the lows are never too low. So to kind of be somewhere in the middle and be that guiding presence through adversity is something that I try to do.
That was a great answer. How many times did you give that answer to NFL teams?
That was the first time.
Really? Was there any
Yeah.
was there any like, I don't want to say stupid questions, because if you say it and the person that asked you the stupid question is like, well, we're not drafting him because he said our question was stupid. Was there any questions from those psychologists from teams that you were like blindsided by? For instance, when I hired people here, I asked them what kitchen appliance they would be if they were a kitchen appliance. A lot of people said fork and knife. That is not an appliance. I immediately jot them off the books. I'm looking for a microwave more so than anything. Did you get any questions that were kind of interesting that you thought, like, I did not expect to get asked that?
Yeah, I was asked which coach I'd rather punch in the face: head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and that was really out of the blue.
Who'd you say?
I said the quarterback coach.
And why was that?
I had kind of a relationship with him, so I knew he'd understand. And
was that a team representative? Was that a GM, or was that like one of those psychologists?
it came from the head coach, and so I was sitting there with all three of them, and they kind of pointed to each other, said, "Which one would you rather punch in the face?" And I kind of looked around, and I said, "I have to give you an answer." He said, "You have to give me an answer," and just pointed right at the quarterback coach.
Punch him right in his suckle if I had to. Have you've been working out with your brothers? Have you been staying in shape? I would assume that nobody has a clue what's going. Normally, when you get drafted, you go to rookie minicamp the next week, and then you go straight into OTAs. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year. What have you been thinking about looking ahead, whatever team you go, how it's going to go forward?
I would say I want to get down the playbook as quickly as I can. From the moment that the draft happens, want to get the playbook, want to get everything dialed in and start working on that. And we don't really have an idea of when everyone's going to return to normalcy. So whatever happens, I'll do my best to pick up whatever I can.
We're one day out from the draft. Biggest night of your life. Do you have a sense of what's going to happen?
No idea.
Really? So you're just like everybody on television right now. Everybody on TV has no idea what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen. You have a sense. You don't even have a sense of what's going to happen.
Not really. I kind of do my best to kind of stay out of all projections and everything like that. And I don't have any control over the situation. So whatever happens. I'll make the most of it.
You need to get better Wi-Fi before tomorrow night. You need to get better Wi-Fi. What is the setup going to be? Are you going to be in the basement with the family?
Probably just the living room. They sent a bunch of cameras, so my brother set that up, and we'll just be my family and I in the living room.
So what is it? It's like they got like one of those like Kim Kardashian round light things that you put on the. Is one of those setups? What is the setup?
That's only for the interviews. So that'll be after, and for the living room, it's just a big light bar and an iPhone, and it's just recording.
So you got a free iPhone from ESPN NFL already?
No, we have to return it.
I knew they were going to get your ass. Hey, by the way, we have enclosed a stamped return for every iPhone that we send you here. That's absolutely beautiful. How will you spend tomorrow? You're fired up. You got to be a little bit anxious. You can't leave the house. Well, you do. Just try to sleep as much as you can, but so you don't have to overthink what's going to happen. Your whole future, by the way, is being decided tomorrow night. I don't even know if you know that you're moving to a brand new city starting tomorrow night. Your family's going to be fans of a brand new team starting tomorrow night. Your mission of being the face of a franchise starts tomorrow night, and I assume you can't wait for it to get over. How will you spend from now until then? Because waiting is the hardest part. It's a song.
That's good. That's really good. I would say probably just hanging out with my family, kind of just doing things around the house, and I think I'm going to go lift. We've got some good weights in the backyard, so kind of find things to do throughout the day and just stay busy.
You going to the Dolphins or not, dude?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Herbert, just tell me, like 305, you and Rick Ross down there, huh? Down there on South Beach, we'll sling the rock in Fort Lauderdale a little bit.
I wish I knew. I wish I had an idea.
I am sick of it, Justin. I am sick of it. Head and Shoulders told me he's coming on. He has great hair. He uses Head and Shoulders products, and he will tell you exactly where he's going to get drafted tomorrow night. That's what I was told whenever I heard you're coming on the show.
They told you that?
No, I was just trying to force you into it. Hey, I can't thank you enough for your time. Diggs, you have any questions for this guy?
I was going to ask you, are you still wearing like a suit tomorrow? Or
great question.
We were actually told not to wear a suit, so I'll just probably be in some casual wear. I feel like it'd be weird to be in a suit and sitting on the couch, so just something to wear normal and kind of just look good, I guess. I'm not too sure.
Have you signed a Nike deal yet?
I've not.
Really? Out of Oregon? I would assume that Phil Knight would have locked you down immediately. He wants to see what happens tomorrow night too, huh? That's wild. That is absolutely wild.
Interesting. I've always been loyal to Nike, and I will be. So I know one day we'll.
Justin,
we'll
shut up! Don't stop it. Listen, don't say that. Justin will wear Adidas if Nike doesn't come to the table with a massive amount. Your agent didn't say that. You're from Oregon. You didn't say that. I am here saying that if Adidas comes with the bag, Justin Herbert will head right to the Three Stripesville. Is that right?
No, I can't comment on that.
Oh, my God. Justin, you need a little leverage here. They think they got you because you're the kid from the town where Nike was created. They think they got you. They're going to try to come in there and lowball. That is not the Justin Herbert deal that I am looking for with that good of hair, that good of a brain, and potential number 5 pick overall to the Miami Dolphins. I think we need a big-time Nike deal.
What's your fee to represent people?
It's like standard 45%. I'm not great. I'm not a good agent, but I'll get you a good deal. Do you play video games or anything like that?
A little bit.
What's your game? Call of Duty?
I have played that a little bit, but I'm not very good.
Yeah, me neither.
At all.
What's your game?
Madden. Well, it's not really my game. I'm not very good at that either. I'm not very good at any video games. I think they're just kind of fun.
What are hobbies for you?
I like to golf.
Oh, so you're classic quarterback here. Yeah, you're just quarterback through and through. How's your game? Pretty good? You got like a handicap or anything like that?
Not really. I can hit the ball long ways, but it's just not very straight.
Do they have golf courses in Oregon?
Yeah, they do. A lot.
I've never been. I've heard it's awesome. I've heard great things. I've never been to Oregon. I've never in my entire life been there. What do you think? Do you think your athleticism is underrated?
I would say so. I think
so, by the way.
The last 2 games of the year, Utah and Wisconsin are kind of games that we kind of had more read aspects, more zone read type stuff in the game plan, and I thought that really helped our team, and that's kind of one of the things that we looked at and thought we had an advantage with.
Yeah, because stupid Orlovsky, okay, Dan Orlovsky, stupid Dan Orlovsky, okay? He's on ESPN. He's on Get Up every morning. He was in the NFL a long time. He said Tua is a thrower. Herbert is more of an athlete who's going to have to learn how to. And I'm like, well, why is that a bad thing? I don't think that's a bad thing to have a guy who's athletic on there. So anything Dan says, I hope you understand that dumb guy has nothing to do with what anybody else thinks.
I think he's pretty smart. I've gotten to know him a little bit.
He's dumb.
And he normally has good things to say.
You can call him stupid if you want. I would actually enjoy that.
I can't. I won't.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Head and Shoulders camp, great hair. We don't know if he's going to be with Nike or Adidas or even Under Armour in the future. Let's keep those options on the table, Justin. This is now a business and not a game. Tomorrow night, about to get very wealthy with incredible hair from Oregon, Justin Herbert. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, good luck, man. Before you go here, just who did you do your most interviews with? You can give
there were a few teams. I would say probably the Chargers, the Dolphins, are probably the two most teams that I interviewed with.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm putting together a mock draft right now. You just made me sound a lot smarter. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Herbert. Thank you, man. Good luck, dude. You're going to do great. Enjoy the hell out of this.
You guys.
See ya. Okay.
Nice little nugget there.
Wait a minute.
Chargers, Dolphins.
Okay, so everybody's talking about Tua Herbert going 5'6". Jordan Palmer said that he thought they were going to stick with Tyrod Taylor at 6 because he didn't get a lot of calls with Justin Herbert's here. Like, I talked a lot to the Chargers, talked a lot to the Dolphins. All right. Okay. We got to get to a break. We're going to do some YouTube questions during it, and then we'll hit some phone calls to wrap up this hour. Justin Herbert, 6'5", calm, cool, collected. That's an LA guy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's an LA dude.
Quarterback guy.
Could be a Miami guy, though, too.
With that flow. Behind Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's going to
Big
need
brain,
some
too.
Moroccan oil. The humidity in Miami is not good for hair like that.
Argon nuts. Could have been mine. This is the Pat McAfee show. I could have been a billionaire. I could have been a billionaire because of the Moroccan oil. That comes from argon nuts. I know the argon nut guy in Morocco. Met him face to face before the Moroccan oil takeover. Shook his hand. Gave me his number. It even started with like an international code. Then I got drunk on a cruise and lost his number. A year later, I see spread. Moroccan oil fixes everything. That's my guy. Could have been me. That would have been McAfee's magic nuts. YouTube questions during the break. It's the Pat McAfee Show. Son of a... All right. I really loved that conversation with that guy. He was cool. He's a lot cooler than I thought he was going to be. When I saw his face against Utah, they zoomed in on his face. It was a massive moment, and he was just like dead face. I was like, well, it doesn't look like a guy that's very passionate. And I think that's literally just who he is. He's just super cool dude that you would want to be friends with. Somebody just tweeted us that he just looks like the most basic guy you've ever seen. He is, but he's 6'5", very athletic, academic All-American, and throw the rock quarter mile.
Who do you think he was looking at in the room?
I think it was his brothers potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his brother's like, did you hear that he just asked me?
He's right. He's right.
He
Am I
should
allowed to
petition
answer
to play without a helmet on. His
That hair
is
is
so...
Head and Shoulders did it right, by the way.
Yeah.
They know.
That's a good idea. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get any deal over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes can take any deal he wants right now. Any deal he wants right now. But if Herbert comes in and starts stealing some with that incredibly glorious hair, I'm all about that.
Hair flip mid-interview?
I mean,
mid-question.
Yeah.
There was no way I was just going to let that fly. That ain't going to happen.
Those are the three athletes, right? They have Troy, Mahomes, and Herbert. I don't know if they have anyone else for Head and Shoulders.
Clay
They had
Matthews.
Clay
still.
there for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
They had Clay for a little bit. They had a baseball player, too. Bryce.
Oh, he's good.
Bryce Harper.
Great
Good hair. Good hair.
And Joe Mauer, too.
Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer has good hair?
Joe Mauer plays what?
Catcher.
Played baseball. I think
Twins.
Joe Mauer had like a buzz cut. What was he doing?
I don't know. He was
Well, because remember, Head and Shoulders is not just about the hair.
Yeah.
It's about the shoulders as well.
That's a good point.
The scalp, keep the scalp
Yep, that's a
nice
good
and
point.
it's lotion for the hair.
It's pretty good, Zeke.
Great athlete.
Oh, jeez.
Oh. What happened? You call me Big Fat Stooge?
No. Nope.
He's saying
called you a big-
He's saying you got a couple snowbanks on your shoulders.
That's what he's saying.
What do you mean?
Nick was being rude.
Zoom in, please. Is there any there?
Well, you're wearing a jacket.
That's black.
True.
And what
slick.
shows on?
I mean, it has
Hey, that's a nice coat you got
It has
there,
a
though.
Dracula collar on it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Set him up for it.
we had over 14,000 people watching at that point. By the way. That's the biggest show we've had.
Yeah.
Hey, look at us just yodeling, 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 yodeling. It's only a matter of fucking time, though, before the...
Why?
Because that's
Like
just the way
Grandma
things go.
Titty.
That's just the way things go.
You think we can get Herbert tomorrow night?
Years down the line.
Whenever he said he was thinking about interviews afterwards, I almost said, I didn't want to put him in a spot, though, to tell us yes and then not show up and then me have to hate him forever.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Herbert, will you come on the show tomorrow night immediately after getting drafted? Yeah, I'll do that. And then tomorrow night, his rep's like, sorry, he's got ESPN. And have you ever heard of Dan Patrick? He's got to do that show. It's like, I have heard of it. I don't give a fuck. Well, come on, McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk, primetime draft super special. I think we'll be able to get him.
I think so, too.
Well, I mean,
I'll send a message right now.
Yeah, please do, Zeke.
Yep, you got
so
it.
Dan Patrick show, we saw the numbers.
Jeez. Take it easy. That guy's a legend in the game. Take it easy. Don't be doing what you just did right there. Ladies and gentlemen, every once in a while we like to dive into the comment section and make sure we do YouTube. Bam, 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 questions.
YouTube questions.
That sound I was making on the U started to sound like it transitioned into a. That's wild. I don't know if I.
Song.
Good for me. Am I going to win a Grammy for that?
What? Maybe.
Ooh, probably.
I deserve one for RIPC of Japan.
Yeah.
About our guy Jim Kong, who's allegedly dead, depending on who you listen to. Zito, what is YouTube question you like to? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, by the way.
You can.
Well, that's what they're saying.
I'll allow it.
I'm
Someone.
gonna say sorry after.
Well, Jim Kong's allegedly dead. Sorry.
There.
Sorry.
Zito.
What was the craziest thing you saw in Morgantown? Please answer, Pat.
I have no idea. Who was that from?
Mike Davis.
I don't know, dude. My Tuesdays were probably the most insane days of most people's college careers. I mean, Morgantown, whenever I was there in Morgantown, it was just set up for complete debauchery. I mean, it was insane there. I've heard about, I did the IU Little Five last year, and I've heard about all these other massive parties. That was Wednesdays in Morgantown whenever I was there. It was basically like Accepted. That's what Morgantown was like. It was like that movie Accepted, Southampton Institute of Technology.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Morgantown was like. I didn't go to any classes. I don't know how I got. It was just insane, and I got $40,000 out in loans just to party. I mean,
not a lot of people do that.
Radio's coming back in time. Morgantown was insane, 7 days a week, and I just so happened to be there whenever our teams were all very good, and that was a problem. Zito, go on and sell them something.
Raycon in the house, y'all.
Hello.
Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, and you already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and that they sound just as amazing as the other top audio brands you know. Show it off. Raycon's in the house, y'all.
These are the E25 earbuds. These are incredible.
They look great.
They are so good. They have no dangling stems or stupid wires. Ain't that right, Zito?
No.
You're about to get to that, I think, in about 6 minutes or maybe 4 lines.
Yeah. Oh, I see that right here.
Yeah.
Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet. With 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about that bass. About that bass.
About that bass.
What happened to her? She fell on Jimmy Fallon and then she disappeared?
She's very talented.
She yodelly, 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 yodelly.
She went down hard.
That was
on Jimmy Fallon.
That was surprising.
Sorry, Z.
No, you're all good. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable.
She dead?
She might be.
Career is.
Nah,
She might be in trouble.
Who is it?
I don't even know her name.
She might still be in a body cast from going down on Fallon. I think
What's
she
her name?
broke both
Megan
legs.
Trainor?
Rebel Wilson?
She,
Tony.
I'm going to call the action real quick because Ray J is really mad right now. Get 50% off your order at buyraycon.com/bet. That's buyraycon.com/bet for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/pad. Megan Trainor, if you're out there, we apologize.
Oh my God, we do. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show.
Rebel Wilson.
Jesus.
Tony.
She wants the cats to come out with the you know what holes.
Oh, that version
What?
of Cats, the movie, the other version that hasn't been released
Can you
yet.
say the bee holes?
You guys said that the movie Cats, worst movie of all time because they didn't have buttholes on the cats?
It could have been better.
iTunes did a promoted tweet the other day, and the only thing under the comments was release the buttholes.
All right, let's go to Jackson in Maryland. Jackson, what's going on? Thanks to Raycon. Shout out to Raycon.
Raycon in the house, y'all.
What's going on, Pat? How's it going?
Well, I mean, Diggs is trying his best to get us kicked off of every airwave that we're possibly on. What would you like to talk about, brother?
All right, so I do the opposite of Old Take Exposed, and I just want to hear your prediction for the Super Bowl matchup of next year. See if you can get a little feature going.
Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate that. Let's go to Justin in Ontario, Canada.
That was a quick cut.
Happy Earth Day from north of the border, fellas. How you doing?
Hey, not too bad, Bear pal. Hey, how is it up here? You guys in quarantine up here or what, eh?
We're quarantined. I mean, it's not as bad as you hear in like New York and stuff, but I mean, they tell us to stay in. We don't. We still get out to the pond and whatnot. So,
jeez.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I actually just wanted to chat to you about quick. Gronk's time away. Do you think that that's kind of matured him, and are we going to see a more mature Gronkowski and lose the antics we all know and love? And also, do you think that if he keeps the antics, do you think Tampa Bay is a city that can handle it?
Justin, great question. Tampa Bay is a city that can handle it. I don't know if you know much about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a party city. That place has a very good time. Tampa Bay is my NFC representative for the Super Bowl, going back to our friend from whatchamacallit. Not sure how anybody beats the Chiefs, but maybe the Colts will be able to do it. Or Bill Belichick on a revenge body tour goes under center for himself for the last half of the season, plays quarterback for the Patriots next year, throwing the ball to himself, or Josh McDaniels in the flat.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Give that man a helmet, give him a jersey, and let's run the Lamar Jackson offense with Bill Belichick.
I wouldn't mind it. I think you guys wouldn't either. At least make it entertaining. The
0-16.
When Gronkowski takes a step away from the game and you watch the game, and then you're a football analyst, so you see how people are covering the game. This happened to me. I learned a lot more about the business of football away from the game. And I learned more about how it's covered and how things are doing and things like that. I feel like I learned more about football away from it. Now, granted, I'm not saying that I wasn't in quarterback meetings trying to learn the offense because I had no idea what the hell was going on in some of the offenses. I'm not saying that I didn't run scout team for some of the defenses. I'm not saying that I didn't tackle, run, all that stuff in the game. I'm just saying when you take a step away and you look at it from a further view, you kind of gain a little bit more of an appreciation, respect for the game. And I'm assuming that happened with Gronk. It happened for me. I would assume it happens for a lot of retired guys, including Percy Harvin. And then whenever you feel if your body's still got it or not, you're like, you know what? Might as well get back into that thing. I'm pumped for Gronk. I think we're going to see a better version of Gronk, but I hope we don't lose his antics. And by the way, I think if you follow that Gronkowski family at all, I'm not sure that's something that any of them can just turn off. I think that is from birth till death. Gronk's going to Gronk, and that's just the way it goes.
Bruce might like that, too.
Yes.
From what you said, at least in practice,
Yes.
Gronk talking trash to the defense, too.
Yes. Not only Gronk talking trash, Bruce Arians. Like, everybody's excited for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and maybe not Patriots fans or people that are saying that Gronk and Tom are washed up. Those idiots shouldn't be speaking and should never be taken serious. But Bruce Arians in practice with Todd Bowles, I hope they're filming it like Amazon did with Carolina Panthers and stuff like that. They should be filming this because the things that Bruce Arians will be able to say in the practice reps about his offense versus Todd Bowles' defense is going to be electrifying. So I'm not saying just on Sunday the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be must-see. Every single day of the week they're going to be must-see. The competition level is going to be very high. You're bringing in a lot of competitive people into that building. And whenever you have competition that normally breeds greatness, you look back to that Seattle Seahawks team. They were even competing in their warm-ups. I would assume Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles, and all that whole squad down there. It is going to be a very competitive building, and I think it's going to be awesome to watch, and I hope they're making one of those inside the team type series. I hope so. I really hope they are, because that would make a lot of sense. And if they're not, we would like to formally pitch our company would like to formally pitch a behind-the-scenes year-long documentary on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will that ever work? We'll never get okayed, but I assume somebody's going to pay top dollar for that type of access.
Do you think Gronk is going to be playing at the same weight he did in New England, or do you think he'll come back a little bit lighter?
So I guess Bruce Arians came out and said that him being lighter is actually something that Bruce was looking forward to. He split him out a little bit more. But people forget how dominant Gronk was as a blocker. Gronk was a dominant blocker. Everybody sees his spectacular catches and the spikes and the charisma and everything like that. But whenever he had to, just like George Kittle, whenever he had to, he would grind and pound. I watched him take a guy into the stands against Indianapolis Colts. Into the stands. I think he'll have to gain a little bit more weight because I think that's a part of Gronk's game that Gronk absolutely loves being able to do. I think if you know anything about the meathead Gronks, they love being more powerful than you are. So I think he will have to put on some weight. I don't think we'll see him at the same weight he was. I think Bruce kind of wants him to be a little bit more of a hybrid, but I think we'll see Gronk big. And by the way, Gronk, if you look at that Andy Cohen interview, he looks bigger than he was looking at the WrestleMania just a few weeks ago. I think Gronk knows exactly how to get his body to where it needs to be, and I can't wait to see it. He's still got like a 9-pack, a 10-pack, or whatever. He is a physical specimen.
He's young.
Young.
In perspective.
What is he, 29 or 30?
30.
He's 30 years old. Everybody's calling him washed up. What did Tony Gonzalez play till he's 50?
38.
He was out in his backyard running around yesterday.
39.
I saw it look slow. I would have jumped that. I'm joking. I would have.
I would
have broke my ankle while breaking the ball. But anyways,
still pick.
I wanted to get your opinion on this. Just came out that Sean Payton informed his players that they will have no off-season program, even if it's allowed. Nothing virtual, nothing at the facility. Show up in July for camp in the best shape of your life. Take care of your families, your health, and be ready this summer.
Sean Payton has been through the lockout. So the lockout back in 2010 or whatever, we weren't allowed to even talk to anybody at the facility. And everybody showed up, by the way, after that lockout with everything out of their system, more dialed in. The first couple meetings were a lot more serious than they had been in the past. The team meetings were a little bit longer. The position group meetings were a little bit longer, but everybody was on the same page knowing that it had to be because we have to get in whatever we could have potentially missed during OTAs or the offseason. You got to remember, OTAs are big for rookies. They're big for guys who are maybe getting acclimated to the scheme, which is going to be interesting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because now not only do you have Gronk, you have Tom that's going to have to buy into the Buccaneers system and vice versa. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they're going to have to learn some of Tom's lingo as well. Same with Bruce Arians and Clyde Christensen. But I think Sean Payton realized from the last lockout and knowing that he has a veteran player group, like, hey, we all know what's going to happen when we get here in July, when we get here in August. Every meeting's going to mean more. Every walkthrough is going to mean more. The lifts are going to mean more. And that's just the way it goes. And setting the tone early, you can't do that with every team. But that team, a veteran-led team, you can absolutely do. I mean, you got your quarterback back. You got most of your offense back. You have most of your defense back. It's like, what are these virtual meetings doing other than potentially taking away time that you're being forced to spend with your family, which Sean Payton, not a bad grandstand there, saying, I'd rather you spend time with your family during this quarantine. Not with us. But for them, they know it doesn't matter.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That lockout, there was a lot of us vets looking to do that every year. Every year. Are we not upset about something? Yeah, we should. Maybe we strike next time. Maybe we strike next time. Let's get to Dan up there in Michigan in the mitten. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, Pat. I know the real reason Gronk retired is because he didn't want to go to the Detroit Lions. Everyone knows that the Detroit Lions have become the official retirement home for washed-up old Patriots, including Matt Patricia.
Oh,
jeez. Damn.
Spin zone. It's because he didn't retire with the Lions because he wanted his quarterback, Tommy Brady. It's not the Lions' fault, all right? It's just that he didn't have
I
Tommy.
saw you spinning that narrative last night on
That's what
Twitter.
it was. It wasn't the Lions' fault.
Good news for the Lions. It wasn't that Gronk didn't want to be a Lion and play for a franchise in forever. It was because he didn't want to play for any team without Tom Brady.
Bingo.
That's what you were pitching.
Yes.
Dan, how do you feel about that? You think Foxy's stupid and a stooge?
Yeah.
Well, that makes Dan a sellout.
Say no more, Dan. Say no more, Dan. Say no more. Let's go to Corey over there in Colorado. Hope your vitamins are strong over there and legal. How's it going, pal?
It's going good, man. How you doing, guys?
Man, not too
I got two questions for you, Pat.
Okay.
First
one would be preferred.
Do you have a Jort sponsorship?
I don't, but American Eagle is where I go to buy them. So if that's what you were going to ask, they got like the stretchy denim. And for me, with these thighs, I need the stretchy denim. Everybody's like, oh, you wear such skinny pants. It's like, go ahead and put these ham hocks on your hips and see if any pants other than those Jordan ones he was wearing are anything other than skinny jeans. Next question.
Yo, Pat, you just did what you told Herbert not to do, man.
Yeah.
You got it. You can't say which brand you like. You got to get the money from from the top buyers, man.
Yeah. Corey, the thing is, though, is I'm not going to be number 5 overall pick or number 6 overall pick and a quarterback in the NFL. Justin Herbert.
Well, for Jorts, though, man, for Jorts, you are.
Nah, you remember.
You got ESPN, you got WWE, you got all these different places you can wear them, man. You got to sell yourself more.
Corey.
And then the second.
You're right, Corey.
What?
No, you're right. Welcome to the modern world. Corey, you're right.
All right, and then the next question I have is, why are the Broncos not going for Cam Newton?
That's a very good question because they like Drew Lock, I think. Drew Lock is a guy that they have to give at least another chance to because of the success that he had late. I mean, granted, I don't think they won every game he was in, but they put a beat down on the Texans. He was putting up pretty massive numbers. And let's not forget the Jeezy rap on the sideline that probably won over the entire locker room. Drew Lock was hurt, I believe. Was he hurt? Is that why he didn't start early?
Yes.
Joe Flacco was in there. Joe Flacco comes out dogging the team, speaking for the first time as a true leader would. He gets put on IR, see you later, get the hell out of here. Drew Lock comes in, really does some good things. I think that locker room likes Drew Lock. I think John Elway probably likes Drew Lock. I would assume the Broncos are going to move up to get something else other than a quarterback. I don't think they're trying to get another quarterback. I think they like Drew. But I'm pumped to see what Drew does next year. I like him a lot, by the way. We saw him at the draft, him and his boys. We had a couple of beers with that crew. Good crew. Good crew.
Big crew.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Big crew. Good crew.
Well, I think Cam, I don't know if him and John Elway would really get along. If they were shipping Flacco out of town for saying that, like Cam's pretty outspoken. I don't know if that would go over very well.
It is going to be interesting to see what place lets Cam Newton come in. Because you're going to learn a lot about that GM, that culture, and everything like that. If some team that you did not expect to bring in Cam, I think a lot of people would be like, okay, didn't expect this, got to do it. And that's the same thing about, like, me. Like, I don't think a lot of people would want me in there because I have a personality at a position that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, unless you bury somebody deep and you got a defense that can stop them and pay you. You get it. There's not a lot of places that would want me in there. I think there's people that run their businesses differently. And when you have a massive personality, especially whenever you're the face of the franchise, you got to get an entire team and organization to buy in on that. I thought the Chargers were going to do it. They did not do it. I thought maybe some other teams would do it. The Chicago Bears, they did not do it. It's going to take a special place to land Cam Newton. And I don't know if he's going to be a backup quarterback somewhere. I think he's talented enough to be a starter, but I don't know where it's going to be. I have no idea where it's going to be. I like Drew Lock too, by the way. Why does that guy not like Drew Lock?
I don't know, man.
What's that all about?
Yeah, he started last season on the IR with a thumb injury.
Seems like he got a hold of the wrong stuff. Let's go to Kyle in Cleveland. What's going on, Kyle?
Hello?
Oh, Kyle.
Hello?
Kyle.
Wait, can you hear me? Sorry,
Kyle, you sound incredible.
Is this better?
Yeah, you sound very, very good. From the beginning, by the way, you've sounded good the entire time.
Oh, sorry. I just couldn't hear you from the iPhone. I had some headphones in.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway,
hey, we appreciate
so
you, Kyle.
to
Kyle, happy
talk
we
about-
figured that out. Kyle, I'm happy we figured that out, by the way. You had some headphones in, probably listening to some Jeezy over there in Cleveland, maybe some rock. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland.
Got it.
Get them jacked up. That casino down there, by the way, is a giving casino. You should swing by. Free money. They hand out money down there. Anyways, what do you want to talk about, brother?
All right, so I had a story the other day. So we had the rear naked choke on the mic. Like,
whoa. Jeez.
Whoa.
Thank you.
There it is. So I decided, my family, you got the plastic water gallon water jug, fill it back up, tap water, put it back in the fridge. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll rear naked choke it. I put in a little too much pressure on that thing. I'm in my dining room where I do my homework.
Boy, tap that.
Everywhere. All over.
It's a shame.
That's funny. The tap water, tap that.
That's what he should have said.
Yeah.
Would have been a funny story.
He said just help that guy. No, I like that guy. I mean, he did a rear naked choke on a gallon of water.
He even rocked it.
Is there anything better than ice cold water, by the way?
Nope. No.
There really isn't.
And we have the coldest water in the world in the fridge in there.
The coldest water ever created is in our office.
Bar none.
I don't know how many other people. As soon as it hits your mouth, it's just an entire coating of delicious cold goodness.
Ice cold goodness.
Got a brain freeze one time just taking a sip.
Well, that's because you don't have a brain.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Ben in California, what's going on, bub? We got about a minute and a half.
He was moving a little slow.
Chris in California, what's going on? Chris in California, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just sitting at work. My boss just threw his back out, so I'm outside of a chiropractor's office just catching some sun right now. Figured I'd call in.
Okay, I have a question. What is an essential? Because in California, that place is pretty much locked down. Are you an assistant to somebody?
Yeah.
You're driving a guy to chiropractor?
We just pulled up to the chiropractor. I'm an appliance repair technician. We're just an apprentice right now, and my boss tried to touch his toes this morning in the shower and threw his back out. So we're
been there.
So we're at a chiropractor's office now.
What do you want to talk about, brother?
He made you stay in the truck?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the truck right now.
Yeah, that's the move.
That's a good apprentice move. What do you want to talk about, man?
So believe it or not, I'm a Lions fan, as sad as that is.
Good man.
And I personally want us to do a trade with Miami. I think that if...
Oh, no, the song
Music's
goes.
throwing him off. Yeah.
Lions down to Miami?
Yeah.
I don't know if Miami's going to trade up now. The more and more I'm learning, especially from Herbert there, I feel like they might be the ones, by the way, floating all the news out there about, Tua stinking and Herbert. Like, hey, let's get these people to drop down. 3 first-round draft picks. If you get your quarterback at 5 that you want, and then you have 2 more first-rounders, you can trade those and move up and get right back behind it. I mean, Miami Dolphins can do some real damage in the AFC East tomorrow night. We'll be covering it. McAfee and Hawk Sports Talk Draft Primetime Super Special. Aaron Rodgers will be joining AJ Hawk and I. Jordan Palmer will be joining AJ Hawk and I. Mel Kiper, Lou Holtz will be joining AJ Hawk and I. It'll be electric. We can't thank you enough for listening and watching wherever the hell you may be. The conversations were great. Shout out to Herbert and to Johnny Hekker. This has been the Pat McAfee Show, April 22nd.
Let's get it. Let's go. Dream house is a tour bus. Scream loud that you knew us. Deep down on the new plug. You ain't about to get too dust. Pete's frown when they crew scrubs. Sweet sound from the 2 subs. Beats loud as a move, bruh. Leave the crowd like, ooh, what? Long hair on the big body. 210s, both sitting shoddy. Crack a fit, start getting rowdy. Blowing nose, looking like an Audi. It's Uncle Sam, but without the taxes. Crowd stands up, I keep them loud. I made this beat, you hear it smacking? Who is 30? Hand me a nap. You probably wasn't expecting this. What?